We are on point already. Hello. Yeah, Friday. It's Friday, huh? So yesterday, as you all probably know, at least the regulars, I live in Toronto, and we got a big snowstorm yesterday. And as a result, I literally couldn't open the window to the shop, so I couldn't do any of the stuff I had planned for the stream, which I actually did for a change, have something planned. So I just went, you know what, let's move it till tomorrow. We'll wait for things to kind of clear up a bit, and they have, so we're good now. But yeah. Hi. Friday, huh? Look at this. We're actually a minute early for going live. But I saw there were folks here already, so nice to see you. I see Joe, I see Indy's Keep. I don't know if anybody else. Ghost of Bodefeld's not first for a change. What do you know? What do you know? Oldcast, you're letting me down. Come on, let's go. I literally just posted. Oh, there we go. We got at least one on Oldcast. Hello, nice to see you. We're gonna just kind of chill for a minute and let to see how many people we get on a Friday, which is unusual. I usually stream on Thursdays, for those of you who don't know, but as I just said, we had a snowstorm yesterday and I couldn't. Hey, look at this with Oldcast representing. Nice. And we'll get this out of the way now because I do have to close the door soon, but here, we'll get the Jimmy cameo. Hello, Jimmy is here. Jimmy, oh look. Yes, love. Say hello, Jimmy. James Tiberius Cat. Yes. Okay, Jimmy cameo. Yeah, you gonna sit here and bother me? I need to get the chair slightly higher. Hey! Yeah, I know, this is a great puppet, huh? You won't believe how long this took to make. Yeah, we got some serious hydraulics going on here. It's true. James Tiberius Cat is the real star of the show. How's that? You like that, huh? That's pretty good. I said no. So what else? Oh yeah, no, all over. Like this snowstorm was huge. It covered a huge chunk of the continent. So yeah, I'm getting love here. Hi. Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have to go soon, buddy. We actually have to close the door today. Oh, the sprinkler strikes again. Okay. Can you? No, he doesn't want to go. Anyway, hi. How you doing? I'm gonna. Oh, now Jimmy's. Don't rub up against the mic, buddy. No one's gonna enjoy that. Your cat inspiration for some puppets? Actually, no. I've never done a cat puppet, which. It seems unusual because, you know, I like cats a whole lot, but cats are actually kind of an odd... Here, let's have a demonstration. You know, this face shape for a puppet doesn't work that well because the mouth is so small relative to, you know, like a puppet wants a big, like dogs are great because dogs have the big long muzzles, right? Or at least a lot of them do. But yes, hello. Yeah, we can demonstrate. But like a cat, you need to make like a very sort of squat face. So like obviously I've seen, you know, the Muppets have a couple of cat puppets, but I've never done one, and that would be an interesting challenge, I think. I think it's tough. It's tough to capture the essence of the cat in a very Muppety style. I think it's a bit tricky, but interesting challenge. Challenge, wait to be accepted, you know. There we go. Okay, Jimmy has now got off my lap. He's going to sit on his bench, but we will have to kick him out pretty soon because we're doing a thing today. I'm actually going to shoot a tutorial video on this stream. So at some point, we're going to be hiding the chat, but I will still be able to see it. We just won't have it because I am going to record for later editing for a day that I either can't or really don't feel like streaming, and then I'll put that up instead. But yeah, first tutorial video 2026. Try to keep up, it didn't quite work. Yeah, it's tricky. It's just the face shape, right? Because you want, you know, like your average puppet needs to sit around, you know, like your average Muppet style puppet needs to sit around a human hand like this, right? And that's just not the shape of a cat head, right? Shape of a lot of things, not a cat. Kermit is the perfect example of like the perfect head shape for your average Muppet style puppet. There's a reason he's the Muppet, right? Because it just works. So speaking of the frog, let me show you something. I have I'm going to be working on another legally distinct celebrity amphibian soon, and one of the challenges with the legally distinct celebrity amphibian, wink, is the hands, of course. And we all know, at least those of us who are in the know, there are basically two styles of hands for the legally distinct celebrity amphibian. One is like around the 70s era, when there were that particular character used very floppy fingers. There was no articulation, there was no wire armature. It was literally just floppy, and you can even see this on some of the early footage. And then in the 80s, they redesigned a lot of it and they put wire armature in, and so they're quite a different design. I prefer the old style, but doing that at some degree of speed is a challenge. And in order to speed it up, this is what I've come up with. This is printed, 3D printed in TPU filament, so it's all floppy. But basically, I've got this, and I've got a little bracket in here that where I'm gonna glue the arm rod, and just basically just cover this in fleece, just sandwich it between fleece, and this should be pretty good. I haven't finished it yet, but these are the prototypes. So there you go. There's my legally distinct celebrity amphibian floppy finger hand. And I'll be working on probably next week, actually, now that I think of it. But yeah, that's fun. Sorry, I missed that Skeep. I actually went back a few of your tutorial videos to get my builds back on track. Nice. Yeah, the one we're going to do today actually may be a big help if you're at an early-ish stage in your build, because I have this slightly updated technique. That's what we're doing today. For when you're gluing, let me see if I can, hang on. Here we go. Here's a puppet skull. This happens to be the prototype skull for Nigel, FYI. If you don't know what Nigel's skull looks like, it's this. But this is your typical puppet head, right? And when you build a puppet, usually using any standard technique, you usually end up with something like this for the skull. And the mouth plates are in, and then you, in some way, cover this in fabric. There's a couple of different techniques. The technique I use is the one that the late, great Adam Krutinger, R.I.P., taught, where you sew the fabric mouth plate into the skin, and then you glue that skin to the mouth, and then you turn it, right? That's my preferred method. But there is a bit of a challenge with that. I'm just doing the tutorial now. I should probably wait. But anyway, the problem that I always have with that is aligning it well to get a really nice even lip line and stuff like that. Sometimes I'm off and I have to pull it apart and retry and just hope that I get it. And because this is soft materials, things shift and move and stretch and compress. So basically I've come up with a technique that compensates for a lot of that. And I don't think I've ever seen anybody else do it quite like this. This is just what works for me. But I'm finding I've done the past, I don't know, like 7 builds like this, and it's been consistently good. So I'm going to pass along that knowledge on today's tutorial video. So that's what we have planned. But there's going to be a lot of gluing today. So I'm going to have the window open and the mask on, and the no Jimmy in the room. Jimmy is currently sitting on his bench. So yeah, hopefully this will be of some use to you, Indy, because this has been yielding very, very nice and consistent results. Let me show you. I'm passing on one build, but I'm building a second. So hey, there we go. We have point of comparison. That would be really useful. So for example, here's another build. I'm currently working on 3 different builds at the same time. Usually the way I work is I'll do things in batches, right? So I'll do like 2 Greeblies at a time, or 3 Smalls at a time, or whatever. but I'm only doing one type. This week, I've been working on 3 completely different ones, and they're all at different stages of completion because I've been waiting for, things to be delivered, and I needed to go out and get stuff, and things are all over the place. So I've been very scattered this week, but it's been going well. So here, for example, now this looks like a small, but you may notice it's bigger than the average small that I usually make, and this is a big small. This is a client build. A client wants a small with that's a sort of more size to your average. Like this is about Kirby size, and it's going to have arm rods as well. But as you can see, the distance between the inner lining and the lip, very, very consistent and very even. And this is the result. This is typical for the kind of results I'm getting with this particular technique. So it's proving very useful, very handy, and I really like this. I got this fleece locally. I actually went to a fabric store in person and bought fabric. And this is just like a fleece I can get locally, and it's quite nice. It's very velvety feeling. It's not quite as stretchy as I would normally like, but it feels nice and it looks really good on camera. So I quite like this stuff, and it folds really nice. You can see the dimples are very cute. So this is good. This is like I said, a local fabric store. It takes me like, I don't know, half an hour to get there, and they're very nice. And I think I'm going to establish a professional relationship with these folks because they're very helpful. The shop is literally called Fabric. I wonder what they sell there. Perhaps they sell fabric there. In person, I would, yeah. Well, because I'm literally just I'm nickel and diming so much, trying to save every penny where I can. Obviously, so like delivery fees. Like if I can save $10 to get stuff delivered, then by going and getting it myself, I will. So that's where I'm at. But that just makes sense. I mean, that's just more streamlined process. Plus, it's nice to go out and actually talk to people. I'm in favor of the analog world, despite being so online. But look at what I do with it, right? I make puppets. That's a physical thing. It's important. This is my version of touching grass. We should probably get on with things. It's 10:11. It's 10:11. This Operation Puppet stream brought to you by the numbers 10 and 11. You recently got some too, huh? Yeah, no, it's really nice to just kind of go out and we've got a number of fabric shops relatively close to me. They usually specialize in like bridal fabrics, stuff like that. Because the ones that are close to me, where I'm close to the downtown core, obviously they have a limited amount of space, so they need to like stock just the stuff that's going to sell, right? So it's a lot of bridal fabrics and like patterns and prints and stuff like that, and not a lot of solid fleece colors, right? So this one I have to go out a little bit to get to, and it's a fairly large warehouse type store, but it's still they had enough there that I would definitely go back. I would love to find someplace local I could get foam too. That's the other thing. I always have to get that delivered, but anyway, I think we're going to get on. We got some F3. What? From a store based in Toronto. You need to message me, buddy, because what? Yeah. Wait, are we talking about Weird Kid? Was it Weird Kid that you got it from? That would make sense at least, because I mean, again, I'm so far out of every loop. Anything you tell me is probably going to be news to me. So, the fabric supposed to be isn't big box carries quilting stuff. I'm having issues sourcing foam. Yeah, me too. Like that's just the way it is now. I got to get it. Like when my source, which is fabricville.com, FYI, has foam in stock, I get as much as I can afford to get all at once. Weird Stuff. Is it Weird Stuff or is it Weird? Well, Weird Kid Store, I think, is part of Weird Stuff. So yes, that I know them. Yeah, Weird Kid Store. Yeah, I have purchased from them before. In fact, my absolute favorite fleece is their hand-dyed Nyla fleece. Is gorgeous. It is by far my favorite fleece to work with. Yeah, Weird Kid good. they're good folks. I do know them, so yeah, okay. Whew. There isn't a new source that I am not unaware of. Yes, I have advocated for Weird Kid. In fact, this legally distinct celebrity amphibian, that's Weird Kid fleece. That's the hand dyed, and they dyed that specifically to my exact specifications. Was not cheap, but also worth it because it's very nice stuff. All right, James, we're gonna have to kick the cat out now, cause we're gonna get on with the actual tutorial, I think, before I lose this energy. The other thing is I need to open the window and get the mask prepped because we're gonna be doing that. All right, Jimmy, you're looking at me with the big sad eyes now. James, yeah, I know you. Now he's grooming. Now he's having a bath. All right, time to go, buddy. Yeah, come on, time to go. This is the portion of the stream where I kick the cat out. Come on. It's dangerous for you to be in here. We do not want to endanger the cat. Come on. Out you go. I should warn my spouse that there's going to be yelling at the door. I think she knows by now. Pretty much safe to assume that when I'm streaming, at some point, the cat's going to be yelling at the door. Okay, let's go. Let me just check the cameras here. Here we go. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff on the table this time. I'm gonna hide the chat now, FYI. Yeah, James Siberia's cat wants to help me build puppets. That would be, he often does, and that would be a very unfortunate situation. So yeah, I have hidden the chat just for the sake of recording the tutorial. Don't worry, I can still see it. And if anything comes up that would require relaying to the rest of chat, I will pass it on, fear not. But let me just, let me get the window set up now, so we don't have to do that in the middle of the tutorial. What's the temperature right now? It's -8. It is in fact getting warmer, which is good. There we go. We got the fan going. I just dropped my big small, which is not a sentence I don't think anyone's ever said before. All right, and I got the mask ready to go here. So I think I'm ready to start. Demon Dreamer, nice to see you. The reason you can't see chat is because I'm about to start shooting a tutorial video. Strikes me that it's really, really overexposed. Like, I know I'm a white guy, but I'm not this white. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow. Good heavens. You know what? Here. That's just too much. I can't. And unfortunately, I can't do anything with a camera while we're streaming, so. Let me see if I can turn off the backlight. That's probably the biggest problem. Oh, great. Now I just look even whiter. Great. Yikes. Well, it's going to have to be what it is, right? Oh, well. Yeah, let's go. Let's just do the thing. I'm going to move the mouse so I don't accidentally... Ah, you know what I do need, though? Aha. You remembered in time. Throat lozenges. I do merge into the light. Well, that's a very nice way of putting it. Breaking news, Goth merges into the light. Okay. I think we should just go. This camera's really bugging me. I don't know. Let's try it. I'm going to try, against my better judgment, to adjust the camera live. If the camera suddenly goes away, you'll know what's happened. I'll switch to a different camera if that's the case, but let's see. I'm trying to connect to it with this awful app, because this is the only way you can do it now. I'm about to go off on my EFF rant. Okay, I have a live view. I can see it. Let's change the ISO. That's too dark, right? This is the problem. It's always either this or this. There's no in between. Are we breaking things already, says Indyskeep. What do you mean already? Constantly. It never stops. The funny thing is, on the preview, it actually looks pretty good, but on the stream, I can see it's all blown out. I mean, this is probably something that OBS is doing, and maybe even my monitor. I don't know. You know what? We're not going to worry about it. We're just going to go with it. Emery, I was about to whip up a Fediverse live stream myself, but now I'm hanging out here. Well, you know, one day we'll work out doing multi-stream. Okay? We'll combine forces like Voltron or something. I don't know. I don't know Voltron. I just know it's a robot that breaks into a bunch of smaller robots. Okay. Let's go. I leave it slightly blown out. Yeah, me too. What you gonna do? I'm so light, I'm almost transparent. Okay, let's... I'm gonna put this aside because I won't need this other than for prop demonstration purposes. And we are gonna go. Am I ready? Am I ready? Okay, here we go. Let's just try and get this over with so I can put chat back up on the screen and everybody can see the witty comments. Hello, it is in fact, at the time of recording, January 2026, and I'll bet you need a distraction. So welcome to the first tips, tricks, and tutorials video of the year, and today we're going to do something that I've been planning on doing for a while, but I have a new technique, and it's more of an update for a previous technique that I have shown on stream a few times. So, if you are an experienced builder or have built a few puppets already and you are using, there's two basic techniques for taking a puppet skull, for example. Let's go to the overhead camera because this camera is just a terrible lighting adjustment. So let's just do this so you don't have to deal with that. Here we have a puppet skull. And here we have a puppet skin. In this case, it's fleece, could be fur, doesn't really matter. There's two ways that you can put a covering on a foam interior structure like a skull, for example. In the case of a skull, the two techniques are the one that I call the Krutinger method, because I learned this from the late, great Adam Krutinger, rest in peace, aka Puppet Nerd. And that is that you make the skin and then you sew in the fabric mouth plate and you finish the skull. So, for example, you do it like this, where you have the mouth plates glued in, and then you glue mouth plate to mouth plate, and then you turn this right side out and you wrap it around that way. And that works great. The other way is to fully finish the mouth plate, including the lining, and then you wrap the skin around it and you glue it down edge by edge. BJ Geyer teaches that method, and I believe that is the method that is more preferred among professionals. My problem is I'm really bad at it, and it takes a lot of practice to get it right. So, the Krutinger method, as it were, is a bit more forgiving for beginners. However, it does have one big problem, and that problem is aligning things, because these are soft materials. They will stretch, they will compress, and getting the lip alignment, as it were, right, so that the lip is consistent, and what the diameter of the lip is, it's consistent all the way around, so you're not too far down, too far up, too far left, too far right, whatever that is. And also because if your top and bottom jaw are separate pieces, it can do this, it can move all over the place and really throw off your alignment. And that's something that I have struggled with quite a lot, to the extent that you would normally glue this together with a slight wet fit where you would not let the glue dry all the way, so you can pull it apart and reposition if you need to realign things, if it goes wrong, which it can and often does. So I got tired of doing that. So I started playing around, and I've come up with a technique that compensates for almost all of that. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. And the nice part is it's basically the same exact way, but we just do things in a different order, right? We do not glue the mouth plate into the skull first. We glue the fabric skin to the separate mouth plate first. Then, once this is all glued together, then we glue the skull to the mouth plate. And what that does is allows us to position very accurately. And as long as, like, it also helps if you mark things. But this will allow us to position each individual mouth plate far more precisely than trying to finagle it when you've got a whole skull together, right? So that's what we're going to do. That's what I'm going to show today. Now, the thing about this is that a lot of it, almost all of it, is just gluing stuff, which means I'm going to have the mask on, which means that you may have a bit of trouble understanding what I'm saying. Even though my mask is mic'd, it's still kind of muffled and stuff. So let me explain now what I'm going to be doing, and then I'll do it and talk about it as I do it. So, like I just said, the first thing we're going to do is glue the separate mouth plates to the fleece skin. Then we're going to glue the skull to the mouth plates. That's really the summary. That is the order in which we do things. Now, you may note this strip of red here. What's that all about? This mouth plate, and this kind of depends on what material you've made your fabric mouth plate out of. In this case, it is felt, which I know I've railed about before, but I do occasionally will use, and I know a lot of people do use, a nice stiff felt for the interior mouth plate, just because it doesn't wrinkle in it. It sits nicely, and it's fine for that. But the problem with felt, among the problems with felt, is that over time it can wear, and it can get, it can split, and it can just tear apart. Don't want that, obviously. And at the hinge of the mouth plate is where you are going to get the wear. So what we want to do, and BJ Geyer demonstrates this in another context, is we want to basically build a hinge, a nice robust hinge on the mouth plate. Now, the way that's normally done is you build the hinge with whatever materials you. I know the BJ Geyer likes to use leather quite a lot, but you would build a hinge, glue that in, and then make the hinge first and glue the mouth plates together, and then do whatever it is you're going to do. Put them in the skull, or whatever. But since we're doing this in a different order, we have to do the hinge in a different order. So what I do, and it again results in the same exact construction, you're just doing everything slightly in a different order. So I glue a strip of, in this case, it's ultra suede. Ultra suede is a really good fabric to use to make a hinge. It's basically a form of artificial leather, but it's very, very robust and very strong. You can't tear it. Well, I guess you could if you have enough strength, but it's very difficult to tear. It's not going to wear down. It's very, very strong and robust. So this is a very good material to make a hinge out of. So what I do is I glue it one layer in first, then we're going to glue the mouth plates to that. Then once the mouth plates are in, we're going to glue another strip of ultra suede over top and connect that all together, and then that sandwich of materials will be our hinge, and it will be nice and strong, and you're not going to have to worry about it. So just to get the ball rolling, I have glued this in here, and also make sure you mark your center points and all that kind of stuff, because that is going to be very helpful when it comes to aligning your mouth plates. And you'll also notice I have already marked on the mouth plate both sides where our kind of boundaries are, right? So I know going in exactly where I'm going to place that, because I have both my center points and my left and right upper bounds marked. So that way we're going to assure and just align your center point, and we will get this nice and even all the way around both the top and bottom jaw separately. That is another factor, because sometimes, you know, these are soft materials, maybe your center point has drifted a little bit. The top and bottom might not be perfectly aligned, right? This way, the lip line will be, even if your actual hinge point is not a perfect line. So that's what we're going to be doing. So we can just get on with it now, I think. We are ready to go. Let me think if there's anything else I haven't covered. I don't think so. Let me grab one more throat lozenge before I put the mask on. Important. And we will go. I have the window open. And oh, you know what I need to do? It's getting cold in here. It's Canada in the winter, so it's cold. I'm going to put a little sweater on before we do this, because it's getting a bit chilly in here. So, I don't know. Frankie, leave this in or edit it out. I don't care. All right, here we go. My Mr. Rogers sweater, right? This is actually cashmere. My spouse gave this to me. It was either a Christmas or a birthday present or something. And yeah, it's very nice. It's very, very warm, but also very, very thin. So it's helpful for this kind of situation where you're in Canada and a puppet builder and winter, and you still have to have the window open. So this will help compensate for that. I can just go forward and get the mask on. So let me do that. The mic is going to get weird for a second. Frankie, if you want to edit this part to not have the sound blow out. You know what? I'm going to mute the mic for a second before we do this. Just to make sure that you don't get your ears blown out. All right, how's that? That should be good. I can see the audio meter moving. Probably moving a little too much. Let me just back off on that a little bit. All right. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, here we go. So, of course, we are going to put gloves on as well, because we are dealing with the danger honey. So the first thing we're going to do is glue the mouth plate to the fabric mouth plate. Top or bottom first, doesn't really matter, as long as you've marked it out. Okay. So, I'm going to start with the rigid mouth plate. A nice light thin coat. You don't want to go too heavy on this. A little bit will do ya. There we go. And likewise, very, very light, very, very thin. Make sure you get the edges. Like so. I always start with the edges and then I work my way inward. In this case, I'm going to do the top, then the bottom, and I will do them separately, just so I can go slow and you can see what I'm doing.
Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to use the hairdryer to dry this off. It's better if you just let it air dry, but for the sake of shooting the video, I'm going to use the hairdryer a little bit. Okay, so now that we're here, this is where all of the marks that you made come in very handy, because we know where the base is, we know where the center is, and we know where the left and right is. So we can just lay that in place like so. This one's being a little stubborn. I think I'm going to get my hand inside there. And this is the nice thing about contact cement. If you have to pull it apart and do it again, you can. And there we go. I can feel inside that there's no wrinkles. But as you can see, now we can see all the way around here. We're nice and even. That's the goal. That's what we want. So now we're just going to press that in place. And there we are. And now we just do the same thing on the bottom. I find it's easier if I actually put a hand inside and kind of help it. It's also hard to keep this on camera. I usually do it kind of like this, but because I'm on camera, I want to try and keep it so you can see what I'm doing. But as an extra layer of challenge to what I'm doing, you, I assume, won't face that. All right, there we go. That looks pretty good. And just like before, we'll get the hairdryer. And just like before, so I know this is off camera. It's important to try to not touch the wet glue. Okay. And the nice part is I can sort of see on the other side where I've made those tracings. So we can place it in. Now this is what I'm talking about. See how uneven that looks? Don't worry about that. That'll work itself out. Because you have to remember, the way that the mouth closes is this way. So this is actually your hinge. So as long as this is a bit crooked, this isn't too bad. If you've got a really, really big crooked gap, you're going to want to fix that. But in this case, we're okay. So as you can see, all around the edge here, that's even, and on the bottom, that's all nice and even. That's what we want. So now what we're going to do is we're going to complete the hinge by gluing in another strip of Ultra Suede. And what we want to do is get this as close as possible, because we're going to want to kind of close it. We're going to want to put it on the top, then the middle, then the bottom. If you get a slightly wider, this isn't quite wide enough, it'll be fine for this, but wider will just make it easier. And I usually don't measure this. I just kind of go with the vibes. A little fraying here. So I'm putting glue on the top, just around the edge. And I'm folding it, putting it in the middle. Then on the bottom. Once again, we're going to hit it with a hairdryer. So, like I said, we're going to start on the top. Just lay this across, like so. And we're going to close it. You have to close it all the way, just a bit. Across the middle, and then fold it over and do the bottom. And when you're done, what you should see is like a crease. Let me show you this real close. See it? Sorry about that. It's hard to do this in the beer review. So see this? See this bend, this sort of crease here where it folds? That's what you want. That's correct. Okay, so now that we've got that, the autofocus, there we go. Now, all we have to do is glue the skull to the mouth plate. And that's pretty much straightforward. You can do top and bottom at the same time. I usually do, but we're going to glue it in like so. And then after you're here, well, that's going to look familiar if you've done this before. And that's when we just turn it. So I'm going to put some glue around the edges, and make sure you do it on the right side, depending on how you're doing your skull, because some skulls have an inner lip, some they don't. But in this case, we want to glue it in like that, so we're going to want to put the glue on the inside. And that's going to be the case most of the time. So we're just going to put a thin rim of glue along the edge here. Am I on camera, more or less? More or less. There we go. And this you want to get pretty dry. You want this to really, really hold. This has to be quite strong. In fact, if you want to put more than one coat on, that would be good. This is where it matters. Like so, making sure we don't touch the wet glue. And now we're going to put our glue on the skull. Like so. You want good coverage. It's still a thin, even coat, but you want to make sure you get it everywhere along this edge. Okay. Now we're going to hit this with a hairdryer, and we're going to do it for a fairly decent amount of time because we want this almost completely dry. Yeah, that seems good. Okay, so the order that you do this in doesn't really matter. Usually what I do is I'll do it at the center point on the bottom jaw, then the center point on the top jaw, and we get it sort of packed in like that. And then I'll start going around and slowly positioning it, and I don't press it in. I make it so I can sort of lift it off and reposition if I need to. But it kind of just wants to naturally sit in there. And when you've got it positioned, that's when you can go around and really lock it into place. All right, there we are. So, that's effectively it. We'll do the big reveal. I'll take the mask off for the big reveal. Hopefully this works out. It should do. Okay, so there we go. And there's what you end up with is exactly the old style technique, right? You've got the skin glued to the mouth, inside out, mouth to mouth, make them kiss. So give me 1 second, I'm gonna take the mask off. So I'm gonna mute the mic.
There you go. Still want to drain the battery on the mask. I'm going to need it again. And okay, here we go. It is time for the big turn. So Once you've got it like this, and you can see how nice and even that is all the way around. So now when we turn it, and the secret I have found of turning, not really a secret, but it's just, don't be too aggressive. Just go nice and gentle. It's going to be all folded up and weird at first. Work it through slowly. Don't be in a rush. So you're going to turn it and it's going to be all like weird and mangled up like this, right? That's okay. That's all right. Gently pull it down. Gently, gently, gently. You pull it too hard, you can pop stitches, you can tear it, you can do all kinds of nasty things. This way, we just want to slowly work it little bit by little bit. There we go. And sometimes you may have to go in and just kind of like fiddle and smooth things out. That's fine. That's just the way it goes. No good puppet was ever made in a hurry. Here we go. And as you can see, you gotta smooth this out a little bit up here. Got a little bit of where the dart is. That's okay. We'll smooth it out. But yeah, there we are. Look at that. Lovely. And nice even lip line all the way around. Pretty good, huh? This isn't even with my right puppeting hand. So let's go to the extremely blown out camera. So you could definitely not see it. But there we are. There is our nice aligning the mouth plate evenly technique. And you can see just how perfect that ends up. And that's all it is just doing things in a slightly different order. But it's the same technique as before. And we've got a nice, robust, this could be me. Am I making me? No, I'm not making me. But, so there we go. That will do it for this tips, tricks, and tutorials video. So I hope this has been of use. Like and subscribe and all those silly YouTube things. OperationPuppet.com for all of the links. And we'll catch you in the next one. Boom, done. There we go. Oddly satisfying. Yes, thank you. It's cold in here. It's now very cold in here. But I have more gluing to do, so I gotta keep this together. Hide the Kim Dracula shirt. Yeah. So that's my current technique for doing the even lip line. It works really well. It's been consistently good. Yeah, so Indy, I hope that helps. Or if Indy's still here, I know Indy has to like sort of come and go because they're at work. So, but yeah, if you're watching the VOD or possibly the edited video. So yeah, that is that. So now what I have to do, I got a bunch of gluing left to do, but we're almost at the hour point here, so we could actually do a coffee break. I think I might do that. What was the mouth material used to connect the finger loops? So I don't know if I have one up here. It's leather. It's just regular soft leather. I don't think I have a mouth plate with a loop in it. Oh, I do, kind of. This is one with an eyebrow rig, but it's the same thing. Let me see if I can get a close-up for you here. Now this is just something I do because I 3D print my mouth plates, but no, it's probably a little out of focus. But yeah, these are just leather. I just make little leather straps onto the brackets, and these are quite nice for finger loops like that. But yeah, this is just soft leather. I buy it. Let me show you if I have it somewhere. Here we go. I just buy like scraps. You can go to like leather places or just like, you know, fabric stores and stuff and get like scraps. These are used to like, you know, make handbags and stuff. Yeah, the metal plate is 3D printed, although you can use this for something that isn't 3D printed. I 3D print them just because I can build this little bracket into them, and that makes it very, very robust and strong. But yeah, this is just soft leather, and I just make little strips of it and then put it through, sew it closed, and that's it. How did you make your iMac door? I could do a spring in it. I don't recall. I don't remember, to be honest. I don't usually put spring returns in my iRigs unless they really kind of need it. I find that it's usually you have a bit more options as a performer if you don't. This is a kind of standard eyebrow mech that I do. Again, this is all 3D printed to my own design, but there should be enough resistance in when you put it together that the eyebrows will just kind of stay wherever the performer puts it, and you don't really need a spring return. Now some constructions will just require a spring return, or some performers will prefer a spring return, so that will be on a case-by-case basis. I normally don't do them. They're a pain in the butt to do, and they're also another thing that can break, so you know. Really good time to invest in a 3D printer. Let me tell you, when I started, I did not have a 3D printer, and it has changed how I do almost everything. It is an extremely invaluable tool. I mean, as you can see right here, this eyebrow rig, it's all modular, right? When I put it together, I can like mount this in, and then I can put this is just like, this has changed everything. It's changed how you think about the building process. I do 3D print my eyes as well. Yep. And in fact, this is something I can demonstrate. I do my own versions of, for example, like hemisphere eyes that are like a threaded rod and the shaft on the inside. So I can mount these, and then I can like make them replaceable. Right, so this is just a peg and a shaft, and the shaft has a thread on it. And I can mount this in the skull like that, and then put this on and literally screw it down, and like so. Right, and that way I can make them modular and replaceable, or you can put different eyelid styles on it, or whatever you want to do. It's very, very handy. So yeah, I don't bother like purchasing, you know, ping pong ball things. I do use ping pong balls if I'm doing an eyebrow mech. I will often use the jumbo size ping pong balls for that because they're just lighter. That is a factor. You do have to be careful with the 3D printing because you can get actually a little too heavy with the 3D printed stuff, so you got to be careful with your infill and stuff like that. But yeah. Yeah, I have to spend time in a design program to build some eyes. All the ones I find are crap. Well, this is the thing. You can just like make them to spec now. You are most welcome. And also, I think you're new, so welcome to the channel. I don't recall seeing the name before, but yes, hello. Nice to see you. So yeah, there we go. That's that. Long time lurker. Okay. Long time, first time. So what I have to do now, my hands are cold. I need to close the window. I am going to take a little coffee break. I'll be right back. I'm going to get some coffee. I'm going to close the window for a bit and let the room warm up a bit before I go to the next phase where I just got a bunch of stuff to glue. I got to put the hands together. I got to put the body together. So that's where I'm at. Well, let me take a quick coffee break and I will be right back. Don't go nowhere. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. What are we all talking about? Foam factory, eh? He says like a true Canadian. Hey, why is the... Oh, you know why the lighting is better now? Because I closed the window. I have to open it again, so... Oh, well. There we go. There's closer to what I actually look like. Foam factory. Yeah, I'm assuming that's in the States. I was gonna say that I am unfortunately in Canada, but I don't think that joke quite works anymore now, does it? Sorry. There we go. True Canadian. Apologizing for being Canadian. Yeah, so my facilities are probably going to be different than most of your facilities, but yeah. Ooh. My foam place only sells 1 inch and up, yeah. Deluxe Puppets recommended Foam Factory. Okay, cool. Yeah, I gotta find, like, I get my upholstery foam from Fabricville, which is a Canadian distributor, but they're very inconsistent. So like I said before, I get what I can when I can. And I have been in positions before where I had no choice, and I had to get, like, I would have to get like 1 inch foam and then literally slice it myself, like shave it down to, you know, the appropriate thickness or whatnot. I have had to do that before. Less than fun, but you know, you do what you gotta do, right? So what I have left to do, speaking of doing, is, you know, I'm working on this here human puppet. So I have to put the body together and put the hands together and then sort of like make them all. I gotta put some boning in the body and stuff like that. So Ghost of Bonafell, there you are. First time in a long time you were at first, but hi. I know I'm streaming on an unusual day because we had a snowstorm yesterday and I literally couldn't open the shop window. I can today. But it also makes it cold in here, and that's what the sweater's for. But hi, nice to see you. And need to get a few hot knives for building cosplay stuff so we can get the 1 inch foam down pretty good. That's handy. I have a hot wire cutter. I've never used it. I've never even taken it out of the box. I've never really had the occasion to use it. So that strikes me as something that I would want to do when I can leave the window open for long periods of time, because I have the suspicion that's going to make a lot of smoke. And that's not something that I really want to do in this small apartment room. So, you know, actually you could tell me, Indy, does it make smoke? Like, I don't know. You're talking about hot knives. I'm talking about like a hot wire cutter. Is that the same thing? It's kind of like a Y with a wire between them, and then you run an electric current through the wire and the wire heats up. Is that what we're talking about? I think they're called the same thing. I don't remember. But yeah, I fear that it's going to, I mean, how could it not make smoke, right? I do enough burning of foam around here that I know that makes smoke. So I want to be careful with how much smoke I'm making. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, in fact, I'm not even sure. You know what? the box with my hot wire cutter is underneath the camera. Right now, it's just propping the camera up, so probably not gonna get it out right now. But yeah, I really should pull that out one day and play with it. But like I said, I really haven't needed to, so I've been avoiding it. But at any rate, let me grab this thing. This thing is nice because the client also requested an inner sleeve. So it's just, this is a very comfy puppet. This is like, I usually try and make them, you know, as comfy as reasonable. But this is this just feels like a big pillow. It's really nice. Foam fumes. Yeah, well, you know me, I'm ready. I'm prepared, so. You know, if I work with barge, then I'm not too worried about the foam fumes, but it's the smoke, because the smoke detector is literally right outside this room. So it's like, I've had the smoke detector go off when I've been using the heat gun for heat shrink. Like, I'm not even making smoke. I'm just making, I guess, some fumes or something that made the smoke alarm go, oh, wait, that's not a normal smell. Guess what I have a lot of in this apartment? Not normal smells. Do with that information what you will. Yeah, I like this a lot. I like the big small. So you make a neck sleeve by literally just making a tube. In this case, this is just a tube. I put a little bit of boning on the bottom so it sort of holds itself open. And then I glue that. In this case, there's actually a neck seam, so I glued it into the neck seam. And it's just like an inner sleeve. In this case, it's actually two materials I used, both fleece, and I had a neck sleeve already made out of, I'm not even sure what this is. It's not spandex. It's almost like a stretchy ultra suede. I don't even remember where I got this. I just went, oh, what can I make a sleeve out of, and just grabbed it for the fabric I had. So, is it toxins? Word is one of the bad words of great. What? YouTube. That's a YouTube thing right there. I don't. Yeah, toxin is a bad. You can't say toxin. It's important to say the word toxin as in don't ingest toxins. Like, good Lord. Anyway, welcome to big media. I'm getting my blood all fired up because we're recording the podcast tonight. So I'm getting mad at big tech already for your amusement. Anyway, I should probably get on with things. Where are we at? We are at the halfway mark. I haven't finished my coffee yet. I'm gonna finish the coffee. I like the emoji. I like that's we got some puppet emoji happening. So yeah, sorry I kind of glossed over your question. The neck sleeve is literally just a tube. I don't do anything more fancy than that. One day I'll do that on, that wouldn't be a bad tips, tricks, and tutorials. I don't often do them. There's usually not much of a reason to. It really depends on the build. So I don't normally do them. They're a little bit time consuming, so I always try and cut down on the time because then labor time equals money. So I try and make my builds as time efficient as possible. So if something doesn't have to be done, I don't do it. Need speak to, that's how, see, the hacker speak, the hacker spelling, there was a point all along, and this is it. We finally arrived at the point at which, like, 80s hacker speak actually matters now. Finally, our time has come. Oh, goodness me. Okay, I'm gonna get on with things. So what I have left to do now, let me demonstrate where we're at here, is we've got our puppet head. So we got arms and we got the body. So what I got to do, I've already started on the hands. I've got my one side of the hand inserts done here, and these have my hand plates and the arm rods glued in, and then the wire armature already done. This is the most time consuming part of that, and I did this yesterday, so actually that's pretty interesting. You know, how are we going to beat OpenAI? With elite hacker speak. So here's the rest of it. This is just the top bits for the hands, and we're gonna just sandwich these babies together and seal them. And then this is the body. This pattern, FYI, the reason that I was kind of like being all cavalier about showing this on stream is this is still the pattern that I used, that I made on the Design a Puppet Pattern from Scratch series, which is a playlist that is available on the YouTube channel or the PeerTube channel. There's a playlist called like Design a Puppet Head or Design a Puppet from Scratch. I can't even remember now. It's been a while. It's been a few years. My point is, this is still that pattern, and it is literally the same pattern I made on stream. I'm still using it. I use it for quite a lot of things. It's very, very handy. So if you want to know about this pattern, there's a playlist that will show you how to make this pattern step by step. Well worth doing. Hello, hello, a seal, a whole bunch of numbers. Nice to see you. So what I need to do is, unfortunately, I need to get all the gluing stuff out again, and I gotta open the window again. It's finally warming up in here. We're ready to go in. It's like, I don't know, deep sea diving or something. It's like I can only extend the exposure to space. Hey, new follower, nice to see you. Thank you. It's the first time I've seen one of those notifications in a very long time. It actually took me by surprise. And I also realized I don't think there was an audio clip, at least not that I heard. So, note to self. But hi, hello, nice to see you. Welcome. So I got to get the time to get cold again. Yeah, no, it totally is. I don't want to. I never used to be like this. When I was chubby, I enjoyed the cold. Now I'm like, now I get both too cold and too hot. There's no positive. Well, I guess not being overweight is a positive. Am I an engineer? I mean, I guess of a sort. I'm a puppet engineer. there is a little bit of engineering involved. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, engineering is engineering, right? It's like making mechanical things work together. In that sense, then I would say kinda. But yeah, where are we going to start? Let's start with the hands, because they're the biggest pain in the butt. So let's just get that out of the way. All right, here we go. We're gonna seal the chamber once again. Now that we've let the heat in. Closing the door. I'm finishing a puppet that I'm working on, as you can see here. Here's the head and the skin of the body. So now I am finishing the insert for the hands, and here are the skin for the hands, and then we're gonna stuff this in that. And also, this is going to be the body. So I'm just finishing a puppet that I'm working on. I don't know that it will be finished today, but we're gonna do as much as we can on stream. Okay, opening the window. Letting the cold in. Getting the gloves. Taking a last sip of coffee before the mask goes on. There we go, nice and blown out again. Boom, boom. Okay. Gloves first. Actually, no, mask first. No, gloves first, because I have to turn them inside out. The head does look like Pac-Man. You're absolutely right. You should see the pattern. The pattern looks almost exactly like Pac-Man. In fact, if you ever want a fun time and you want to make a puppet head pattern from scratch, draw Pac-Man. Draw two Pac-Man, put them together, and you will make a puppet head. Pac-Man is the beginning of all puppet head patterns. I'm gonna blow my nose first because the cold is making my nose run, so I will mute the mic for that. No, this isn't a Greebly. This is a human. A human. This is actually a client build who I made a human a while ago, and they just basically I'm just making another version of that one for them because they saw it, they liked it, and somebody bought it before they could, so I'm making another one for them. So yeah, this is a repro, not really a repro, but like it's another one of those humans. Okay, now that I got the gloves inside out, what is wrong with me? I'm getting all muddled. I'm spinning plates again, and we all know how I am at that. All right, gloves are going on. No, come on, Andy. Look at it. Is that a Greebly? No, that's not a Greebly. And that is how I spell Greebly, although that's not how Greebly should be spelled, I think. I don't remember, actually. It's my branding.
All right, feeling stressed. My friend, here's the secret. Every streamer is stressed all of the time. Some are just better at hiding it than others. Okay, let's go. So we are going to glue these hands together. And that's why I have the paper here, by the way. Only half paying attention to shapes. Fair enough. The gas mask, or the respirator, is because this stuff is industrial contact cement. This makes very nasty fumes. You do not want to breathe this in. Safety first. That's why the gloves, that's why the respirator. Important. All right, let's go. Glue, 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 gluing, gluing. So, as always, light thin coats. Be careful. Yeah, well, that's exactly it. Believe me, I've been doing this for a long time, my friend. This is old stuff to me. Frankie or one of those others used to make a safety disclaimer video. That's a very good idea. I should actually shoot one and then like play it on the build stream every time I go and do this. That's a really good idea. I'm gonna steal that idea, Indy. I will credit you. I guess that's not stealing if I credit. Actually, it is stealing unless you get permission. That's how permission works. Are you paying attention, Sam Altman? That is a very good idea. I think I may actually do that. And it'll be fun too, right? It's useful, but it's also funny. Okay. It's funny. Hello, Chris. Nice to see you. Hey, if I can get Barge to sponsor it, maybe they'll send me some. I don't think Barge is worried about sales. They're like the only ones who make this stuff. Okay. There we are. Hit it with a hairdryer. If I was to wear a mask and you pull the danger out of you, should brain damage puppets. No, I'm the one that ends up with the brain damage, not the puppets. make sure that our wire armature is in the middle of the finger where it should be. There we are. And a nice hand sandwich. Like so. And now do it again. You know that thing you just did, do it again. So Indy, let me know. I don't know if you were around for the actual tutorial video, but let me know if that does in fact help. Thank you for the timeline cleanse. My pleasure. Lurk away. I am happy to provide timeline cleanse when we all definitely need one. An old puppet builder in Canada can do very little to affect geopolitical situations, but I can give people a place to unplug for a bit. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay. Yeah, if you are new, and I'm kind of barreling through this because I've done all this stuff on stream 1,000 times before. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I am just kind of going through and doing my work, so. All right, hand sandwich number 2. Now, I'm going to put glue all along the edge so we can close this up and seal it. And shape it as well. This is where it gets messy. This gets all gloppy and stuff. Gotta be very careful. I think your hand lollipop here. Don't lick it, that's my advice. Oh no, Indy! It was so cold the other day when I was doing hands, I pulled out the heat gun to warm the contacts in it. I learned you should wear insulated gloves. Oh, Indy, I hope you're all right. This is a part where glue control can get kind of weird because I find personally in between the fingers it can kind of pool and get all gummed up, and you gotta dry it extra long. I am getting low on barge, and that is a bad thing, because it is very expensive to import that stuff now. I may have to find something else. It is literally like $100 a tin. I have been meaning to go looking for an alternative to barge, like a serious alternative to barge, for a while, and I think this may be the time. Okay, so now that I've got that all the way around the edge, I'm just going to let that sit and dry for a second, because we want this really, really strong and dry. You melted my vinyl gloves! Oh no! Like on your skin, that's terrible. Pro tip, don't do that. This has been very educational. What I learned is that I probably should not try and build my own puppet and see if some cash would commission you to do it instead. That is an excellent lesson. No, you should absolutely try and build your own puppet. Start small, start slow. But also, yes, you should commission me. Why not both? But yeah, to do a really serious, like Muppet style puppet, it is a fair amount of work and investment. Yeah, Joe, absolutely right. Yeah. Use weldwood. Yeah, weldwood is the same situation for me here. I have to import it, and it's actually it's even harder for me to get weldwood. It's easier for me to get barge than weldwood. I got a couple of things I'm looking at. I'm actually going to make a video, I think, about alternatives to barge or other industrial contact cement. It's a large flat bottom ship, yeah. Believe me. Okay. So now that we're all the way around, did I get every bit? I think so, more or less. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. So now we will set this one aside, let it dry, and work on the first one. So I am going to dry this even more. This needs to be really, really dry. Well, not totally dry, but dry enough. Yeah, the small cans wouldn't last me any amount. This is the quart. I get a quart of barge at a time. This is about $100 Canadian at the current price. If you can get it, which is maybe not. Alright, so now, very carefully, start pinching this together. I'm going to get one puppet per small can, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think even I can get the small tins of weldwood, but it's really not worth it for what I do. looking okay. Looking pretty good. This is where you gotta be careful not to hit yourself with the arm rod. Ask me how I know. So all I'm doing is I'm just kind of pinching the two ends, or the two sides together to kind of round them off and seal it up. It just makes a nicer shape. It makes it a bit stronger. All right, actually, you know what? I should show this close up because sometimes you can't really see the difference. So here it is before you seal the edges together, and it's just like, you know, a sandwich of two layers. Very blocky, very, you know, it's right angles. And then once you pinch the edges together and seal them up, they're nicely rounded. All right, so that's all I'm doing. It just helps, just makes a nice shape. All right. And this also makes it less of a struggle to stuff inside the skin, which is always a good thing. I mean, one of the lessons I really learned was early on I was applying way too much force to most things I did. I've learned to be gentle, which is a lesson worth learning, trust me. At my age, lowering my blood pressure is a good thing. All right, here we go. Two hands ready for stuffing. So I'm gonna go on, I'm gonna do the body now. Just because I've got the rig all ready to go here, so. And then we will stuff the hands. So this is a bit of a pain in the butt because I gotta do each individual dart and then seal it up. So that's what I'm gonna do. But this is the pattern that I made for that series. Same one. And this is really just a slightly tapered tube. There's nothing fancy about this. Simple is almost always the right call. Okay, so I'm gonna do up all these darts and then I'm gonna finish the tube. And then I can take the mask off. Okay. And we're just closing each dart. And all this does is it makes the tube have a little kind of taper up near the top. Like so, and you can see how it creates like a natural curve. That's what we want. So now all I gotta do is pop, glue it together. And again, this pattern is the one that we made on stream, God, years ago now. Like 3 years ago? 4 years ago? A long time ago. I don't remember. What is time? Okay, there. Nice and gentle. I feel like Bob Ross. With your happy little glue. All right, now we will just dry that. And glue it together. Like so. And there we are, have our body insert. Boom. Done. So the next thing I'm going to do, I have to stuff the hand inserts into the skin, and I want to make some boning rings for the body. What time is it? 11:39. Yeah, we can do a little bit more. But first, since I'm done with the gluing for the moment, close up the barge. And
oh, there we go. Yeah. Hey, at least I know it's sealed, right? Oh, okay. So now that I look fantastic, of course you want to go to the face cam. You know what? Actually, we don't. We want to stay on this cam, if for no other reason than, man, I don't need a close-up right now. So, now that it's cold in here again, I'm just going to let it air out for a little bit longer, and then I'm going to close the window. I will need to open it again when I put the boning ring in, but that's not for later. My now ice-cold coffee. Which is not iced coffee. That's different. Yeah, okay. Time to stuff the hands. This is going to be actually a bit of a reiteration of a tutorial video I made before about how I do my not getting the tips of the fingers crushed, which is a very common thing. Let me just... Oh, did I turn the mic off on the mask? I did. Okay, I think I did. Yes, I did. Okay. Turning the fan off and closing the window. It's funny, the fan, you can't see it and you won't see it, but the fan is carved like there was a sort of a snow drift up against the window, and the fan has carved a divot out of the snow drift. Warning, snow, there's puppets in here. All right. Oof, window is closed. Thank goodness. Gonna open the door again to let the heat and possibly Jimmy in. I think he was sleeping last time I looked, so. And dropping the gloves on the floor. It's all going to heck. Oh, still got the lines. Oh well, there's gonna be lines on my face no matter what I do, So yeah, the next step is taking these empty skins and stuffing this hand insert into them, which is a challenge. Yay. So what I usually do, because these have wire armature inside the fingers, but as you stuff this in, the tips of the fingers can get crushed. So I usually take some fiber fill and I sort of pack it up into the fingertips, and that kind of fleshes it out and makes it so they don't get crushed. So I'm just going to do that. I also need a tool with which to do it. I just use a rounded tipped pen because it's not going to poke into the fabric. So I just take a little kind of wad of, this is just teddy bear stuffing, fiber fill, and there's always leave a slit at the bottom. We're just going to go up into each individual finger and pack a whole bunch of fiber fill up in there. And that's what the tool is for, because we want to sort of like really compact it, right? We just want like a nice tight sort of bundle of fiber fill at the tip of the finger. Like so. The dreaded stuffing of hands. I know. This is one of the. For those of you who are new, there is a long-standing tradition among puppet builders that hands are absolutely the worst part of any build, and it's true. It's like I used to say, I want to find the one puppet builder who actually enjoys building hands, and just like they could build like an entire business on like outsourcing hand building. Every puppet builder I know would go like, oh yes, you do it. All right. But I've actually got it down to a point where it's just mildly annoying. It's not like I dread it, right? Feet just as bad. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, these are really the same things. Heads are just feet for your arms. I don't know why that's so funny, but it is. After all, boys and girls, hands are just feet for your arms. Clip that. Okay, there we go. So we've got a little packet of fiber fill in each fingertip. I'm going to do the other one while I'm here. Shove the bud. Nice to see. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, shove the bud nose. The current puppet I'm working on, I had to take things to 11 and create hands with pronounced knuckles. Yeah, I've done that before, like on my Nosferatu. The way I did it was I basically made them like this, but I 3D printed, or you could just use, you know, like a found object. Basically little beads. I put beads around them, and then I had to like sew the entire things by hand, because if you do it this way, it would just all get mushed up, right? But yeah, that's what I did for my premium Nosferatu. Was I 3D printed beads to make the really pronounced knuckles, and then sandwiched the two pieces of fleece and literally hand stitched the entire thing. It took a while. I sympathize. Yeah, see, there we go. We've got consensus on the head thing. Yep. Every generation of puppet builders learns to dread the dreaded hands. It's even worse if you're doing like the fancier type of arm rods that use the pocket, so you can take the arm rod out. That is even more time consuming. As a result, I don't do it. I just sew it extra fleece. So that's probably smarter than the way I did it. Okay. Like loading a musket, right? I don't know. Why would I go immediately to that? What is wrong with me? Puppet building is like loading a musket. Feet are just hands for your legs. I actually slept well last night. This is what happens when I sleep well. It's funny, I got like my stupid Apple Watch gives me like notifications if I have a metric that's an outlier. So my sleep metric this morning was, hey, you slept more than normal. Thanks. It's really useful information, Apple. I wouldn't have known that if you hadn't have told me. Okay, there we go. Now it's time for the really fun part. Jamming this in this. It's even worse because like normally when I'm doing like my monster puppets and stuff, I usually only do 2 fingers and a thumb, and this is even worse because it's 3 fingers and a thumb. Thank goodness we don't do 4 fingers. We have cartoon rules in Puppetville. As they say in the 90s, who needs sleep? Yeah, you know. Me, that's who. I need it and rarely get it. So basically the whole secret, there's no secret. The secret is you just go slow. You just go like little bit by little bit. Don't use too much force. That's when things break. That's what I like about the goblin's 2 fingers and a thumb. Exactly! It just kind of worked out because I like the 2 fingers and a thumb as a design principle regardless. It's just because it looks kind of weird and alien. Unless you're Dr. Teeth, he has 5 fingers, good point. Also, like Dr. Teeth uses like just a regular glove, right? So it doesn't use the whole, it's not a rotted arm, so it's a little different. Although still pretty freaking annoying to sew, I imagine. I don't think I've ever done 4 fingers and a thumb in that form factor. Cartoon rules make sense. Cartoons are also where I learned loading muskets. I figured out that you made sense to me. I'm sure of writing skinning the hands on Twitch with you on some kind of list. And now... Very good point. Okay, there we go. More or less. I gotta sort of finagle this a little bit more, but that's kind of where we're at. And then we're gonna ladder stitch the seam on the bottom closed. Should we make a puppet count? Rugen from Princess Bride, all 6 fingers at all? No, pay me. That's yes. The answer is yes, and also it will cost a lot of money. I charge per finger. Now there's the clip. Okay. What time is it? 11:51. Okay, we're gonna stuff this hand because I charge per finger. So I'm getting put on all kinds of lists, and then we're gonna end the stream. I'm not even gonna read that out loud, indeed. I get the reference. Dude, let's probably get this foam from Atlas Foam Products. See you wrong. Oh, interesting. Okay. Interesting. Do let me know, even if you are in the States, of your experience with different acquiring foam from different places. I am curious because I mean sometimes I do just have to bite the bullet and import. So I am curious. The only thought of Lecter, you know. Have you ever made removable skin, kind of like a onesie for puppets? Interesting thought. I have not. I guess my instinctive question is why, but you know, I'm sure there could be a reason. I guess if you want to like have a base puppet and you want to change the color, that wouldn't, you know, it's like taking the kind of Whatnot Anything Muppet philosophy one step further and making it the whole thing modular. That's an interesting thought. Probably be a real, it would be over time. I can see it not holding up well because, you know, over time the fabric would stretch and distend and you would probably have to make new skins for it and everything. So I can see it not being a super practical idea, but it's an interesting thought experiment if nothing else. Sad part is, Kevin, likelihood of more than a few of us knowing the reference is low. You know, I think you'd be surprised. I think the kids are getting more references than we think they are. There is a growing kind of a movement on the part of like Gen Z to like punch out and not be online all the time and actually like consume old media and stuff like that. So I think, you know, I have faith. I think the kids are all right. I think they're going to figure some stuff out. Okay, there we go. Hands stuffed. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, it is a matter of durability. It definitely would be doable, but not a lot, like not often. But an interesting thought, nevertheless. I like, you know, thinking outside of every box like that. Okay. It is, yeah, we're pretty much at time. That's a 2-hour stream, all right. Okay, thank you everybody for joining, new and returning viewers. We are recording the podcast tonight. We are doing it remotely because poor Andrew has a bit of a head cold. So we are going to be recording, and it will be released tomorrow morning, which will be our first podcast for 2026. Exciting. Season 4 begins tonight. You know, we got a lot to go over, so it'll be fun and interesting, and also not all negative, believe it or not. There are some good things to talk about. So yeah, thank you as always, operationpuppet.com for all of the links as usual. If you wanted to see what else we did in the stream when you come at us late, the VOD will be up. There will be a new tutorial video soon, etc. All of the things, you know the things. I hope you have a good rest of your day. I may be streaming some Warframe on the weekend. We will see. And if we don't do that, then hopefully we will see you next week. So have a good one, everybody.